Hi there, I'm Dave Marks and this is the first video in my series Rutbusters. Rutbusters is here for anyone who is stuck playing the same grooves, the same fills, the same sort of stuff over and over again and feels like they're struggling to get some new ideas. So this is all about creativity, trying to engage with some new concepts and trying to get some new shapes and ideas underneath your fingers so that you can bring new stuff to the next gig you play. Let's look at our first lick. This is Rutbusters lesson 1. Just keeping it really, really simple, a nice arpeggio-based G7 funk idea. This is just a nice fill that you can play. Here's a little clip of me playing through it. Okay, so first up we'll look at the mechanics of playing. I'll do a close-up of my hands and show which fingers go on which strings so you can get the actual bare bones technique of it down. If you want, we'll move beyond that with an explanation of the notes that I'm playing, why those notes work against the chord, and how we can take this idea and maybe apply it in different settings with different chords to expand the idea and open up the creativity. Starting off, I have my 4th finger on the G string, 19th fret, 3rd finger on the D string, 17th fret, 1st finger on the D string, 15th fret, and then 2nd finger on the G string, 16th fret. And that gives me a nice little 4-note pattern. I'm using all 4 fingers, it's a nice coordination exercise, and you could literally just take that and drill that for a little bit as a technique workout. We move down to the middle 2 strings. I'm going to put my 4th finger on the 17th fret on the D string, 3rd finger on the 17th fret on the A string, and then again we have this similar pattern, 1st finger on the 14th fret of the A string, and 2nd finger on the 15th fret of the D string. So you should recognize we've got that same 1st and 2nd finger pattern. And then right down here at the bottom, we have the same pattern that we used when we were up on the top 2 strings. Now if you want down here, if it feels a little bit cumbersome, you could play 4th finger to the 2nd finger and then 1st to the 2nd going up. So instead of using your 3rd finger for that, you could use your 2nd. Entirely up to you, see which feels more comfortable, go with that. Here's another variation you can go for. It's the exact same idea, but starting from a different note. So here, if we were to start from G on the 12th fret, and heading down to our G, we begin with our 4th finger on the 12th fret of the G string, 3rd finger on the 12th fret of the D string, 1st finger on the 9th fret of the D string, and 2nd finger on the 10th fret of the G string. So again, we have that little 4-finger, 4-note pattern. You should recognize that it's the exact same. Now we come down and we have, if you want to make the jump with the 3rd finger, if it feels too much, use the 2nd. And then down at the bottom, we have the same as we had up top. Exact same fingering, 4th finger to 3rd finger, 1st finger to 2nd. We can take the whole lick down an octave and play it between the 3rd and 7th frets. Now be a little bit more careful here because the frets are much further apart. If you try and play 4th finger to 3rd finger there, it feels like too much of a jump. So 4th finger to 2nd, then a little position shift down, 1st up to 2nd again. And then this pattern is the same as before, 4th to the 3rd, 1st to the 2nd, and then finally at the bottom, 4th to the 2nd, 1st to the 2nd. So 3 different places that you can attack this lick before we get anything else done with it. That's the mechanics of it. So the notes contained within this are all just the notes of a G7 arpeggio. Now if you know your chords properly, G7 has a root note G, a third B, a fifth D, and a flat 7 F. And then that pattern repeats as we go up. So taking those notes as my jump off point, I wanted to try and make a lick that wasn't just some kind of sequence that runs up or straight down, or even just, you know, like a legato thing with pull-offs. I wanted something where the order of the notes would get broke up into a slightly more interesting combination. And the other thing with this is when you play a G7 arpeggio straight up or straight down, you only get certain intervals. It's a major third between the first two, then a minor third, another minor third, and then a second. So in this case, I wanted things like that, has a flat fifth there. This is a slightly more dissonant but interesting sounding interval. So the first 2 notes, D and G, give me the interval of a fifth. Then I have a flat 5. I move the whole idea down to the middle 2 strings. I have a fourth there, and there's that flat 5 again. And then finally, the bottom of the lick is the same in every way as the top. We're just taking it down 2 strings and down 2 frets. Now, the reason this works well is because instead of being sort of sequential in order, where I go from the 5th to the 3rd to the root to the 7th, I wanted to skip out that 3rd and make the jump. And then starting from the 7th, again, instead of going straight up to the G, I miss out the next note and go straight up to B. That sets up my pattern. I just take that whole cell idea and move it down. So instead of playing G down to F, I play G down to D, and then repeat my same idea, B up to F, and then the bottom, as we said, is the same as the top. All of the notes contained within that lick are from the G7 chord, so when I play that, it reinforces the harmony. Everybody else is playing G7 chords, they're playing melodies that fit over G7. I play that lick, and it sits right inside the harmony. It sounds great. I can also choose other chords to use if I want to make it feel like the harmony goes somewhere else and then resolves back to G again. So let's take one example, which would be playing an A flat 7 arpeggio. So I play the groove in G. So you can hear there, it's going somewhere completely different harmonically. I've essentially done, so up a semitone to resolve back again. I could do the same thing with a D7 arpeggio. I could do the same thing with C7 or B flat or F. All these different options just give me a chance to so I'm breaking up the notes in the chord to give it a nice melodic twist, but essentially I'm creating that harmonic shift. So this is a way of introducing a level of creativity where, okay, you're playing a G-funk vamp, and you don't want to play this every time. I mean, don't get me wrong. Most of the time, if you're playing a G vamp, you want it to feel like it's in G. But in those moments where it feels like it needs to maybe turn a little corner and come back again, that's a very cool way that you can integrate that. The next obvious step is to take other chord types and do the same type of lick with them. So if I turn it into G minor 7, becomes, so I lower that third, so now I got a flat third. If I wanted to turn it into G major 7, I would do it with a major third and a natural 7. And these can be really nice, even I'm playing them in a kind of funk context, but can be a nice sort of melodic lick that you play, and again the sort of thing at the end of a song, whenever the chord finishes at the end and you think, oh, I wish I could play something a little bit fancy there, instead of just going and sort of playing the fastest thing you can, try for something a little bit more melodic. Try these sort of ideas where it's not just scale runs the whole time. Have some fun with it. Please feel free to post video responses if you find you're able to work this lick into your funk playing. If you find you're able to write a bass groove or a tune based around it as well, wicked, all the better. If you just take it out and use it on your gig, everyone will think you're super hip, sound like an amazing bass player, and they'll be like, where'd you get that lick from? I fully allow you to just say that you made it up. I mean, we know where it came from, but yeah, you can pretend. So have a great week, groove hard, practice hard, and now get your fills done. And I'll see you in a week's time for the next Rutbuster. Take it easy. If you enjoyed that lesson, feel free to click like. You can subscribe to my channel so that you get all future lessons as soon as they come out. And if you want to help out, I have a Patreon page now that you can donate through. These lessons are free, they always will be, but if you find you're getting a big benefit and you want to pay it forward, if people donate money to me, it frees up more time and I can share this online. It'd be a big help to me because it means I get to do something that I love, but you'll also help bass players all over the world because it'll mean there's more high quality music education that's free for them to get on YouTube. Thanks very much if you are able to donate, and if you're not, enjoy the lessons all the same. See you next time.